Hey guys, welcome back to another workout with Reform by Claire. I'm going to take you through a full body experience today as usual. All you're going to need is your reformer box and a set of light dumbbells. I've actually gone for the 1 kilo dumbbells. I would recommend going no heavier than your 2s, maybe 3s if you know you're super strong through the shoulders, but definitely don't go too much over that. I've got one blue spring on, which on the Align Pilates reformer is a light spring or a half spring, and I've popped my foot bar down just one notch. It's not 100% necessary, but I find as a shorty that is helpful. And then we're actually going to start in the well of our machine, looking up towards the top end of the reformer. Take a nice big breath in, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, can you dive your hands forward until you find yourself all the way down in a forward fold. Letting the weight fall out through the crown of the head and the hands drop towards the floor. Take a nice big breath, bend your knees into your chest, and as you exhale, we're going to start to roll ourselves up. Just restacking our spine, bone by bone. Lifting your head at the top, rolling your shoulders back. We're going to breathe in one more time, reach the arms out this time. Breathe out, opening the arms, stretching through the chest. Nice tuck chin, exhaling as you rolling yourself all the way down. This time at the bottom, just start to pedal out through the back of those knees, bending one knee, then the other. Still have our head hanging down nice and heavy between our arms. And as you bend into the left knee, we're going to keep it bent, lengthen the right leg as much as you can, and the right arm's going to open up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze follows your fingertips as we take that nice stretch down through the back of that right leg. A little twist through the spine. Take a full breath in and out. Bring the hand all the way back down. Right knee's going to bend, left leg starts to lengthen. We open towards the left, looking up towards the fingertips, stretching through the back of the left leg. Full breath in and out. Then your hand comes all the way back down. Beautiful. Rocking forward and back through the balls and heels of the feet. And then ground yourself evenly. Breathe all the way in, bend the knees into the chest, and breathe all the way out as you slowly roll all the way up. Beautiful work. All right, I'm going to bring my hands onto my shoulder blocks now, and my toes are going to come up onto the end of my machine. Now, if you've got a low machine and this feels unstable, you can always have your toes on the floor and your heels up against the back edge. But I'm going to come all the way up and we're going to start to move through a little bit of a pike to plank. Moving through the spine, I want you to pike your hips up, lead with the tailbone and get that nice stretch. And then ripple forward through the spine, opening up into your plank. Beautiful. Using a little bit of core to pike up and then stretching at the top like more of a down dog. And then as you ripple forward, make sure your hips don't drop down. I just want you to stabilize in that plank. Squeezing through the thighs, the glutes, and then scooping back up. Rippling forward, rolling through the spine, opening so your eye gaze looks just halfway up your carriage and your chest is open, scooping up through the belly as you roll back. And then on your next one, we're going to start to bring the right knee into the chest, then step the foot back, pike straight up. So a little bit less movement through the spine here. A little bit more of a direct movement from your pike straight into your plank. Always breathing out as you draw that knee to your chest, helping you just to tighten through the deep core, the obliques. Always the right leg coming in. We're going to do just a few more like this, and then we're going to hold forward in that plank. 2 more. Last one. Find your plank, knee to chest, a little pulses in. So you're pulsing that knee in. Wrapping through the midline, your rib cage pulls down towards your hip bones. We're going to step our foot in between our shoulder block in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step that foot forward. Beautiful. Take a quick little stretch out through the back of that leg. And then sink forward into your lunge position, opening your chest towards the top end of your reformer. From here, I want you to lighten the load through the hands and lift yourself up so that you're reaching forward in that lunge. Your arms are going to sweep all the way down and then all the way up. The further forward you've got your chest, the more load you're going to take through that right heel. Grippy socks would definitely be helpful in this position. Nice. So everything staying still, just those arms sweeping. Just my back foot. Definitely recommend the grip socks for this. And then as you reach your arms overhead, I want you to drive into the heel a little and then sink down. Arms sweep down and up. So you're halfway lifting, you're not lengthening that leg completely. And then every time you bend through the right knee, just see if you can get a little bit deeper into that lunge. So we're starting to fire on the right hamstring, the right glute, as well as opening through that left hip and warming up the shoulders. Beautiful. 2 more like this. Last one, lots of balance happening here. And I want you to continue with that halfway drive up and dip down. So never lengthen that right leg. Looking forward, finding something to focus on, arms reaching overhead. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1 more here. Hands to your shoulder blocks. Step your right foot back. Find your mountain climber. So your knee pulls up and across the body. Beautiful. If you want to go a little bit fast, you can step down to the floor for this. Find that little twist through the hips, but your chest, your upper body, stays really still. Breath always out as the knee drives in, just helping you really wrap through those obliques. We're going for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pike your hips all the way up. Ripple forward into your plank. Left knee draws towards your chest. Step it back, pike up. Left knee again. Step it back, pike up. So you really want to be pulling the knee in far enough that you start to feel the obliques on the left side of the body. Tighten, wrap around the side of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. 4 to go. We're going to pulse that knee in 3, 2. Last one, come forward, knee pulses in. Every time you pull the knee to the chest, breathe out. Pull the ribs around the body like you're wrapping a corset around your midline. 6, 5, we step forward in 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot comes all the way forward. We find that hamstring stretch for just a moment here. Chest drops towards your knee and your thigh. And then sink your hips forward, open your gaze and your chest towards the top of your reformer. Lift your hands away from your shoulder blocks, reaching forward. Arms sweep back and then up overhead. You sweep them back, squeeze the back of the arms, squeeze the back of the body. The further forward your chest stays over the top of that left thigh, the stronger the load is going to feel through your left hamstring, your left glute. We're going to add on that halfway lift. Arms come up. Little push, sink down deeper. Arms sweep back and up. Drive through the heels, sink down. Sweep back and up. Push and dip. Beautiful. 3 more full rounds. Focusing on something. Finding length through the leg, but not completely straightening it, just so we keep that load in the hamstrings, in the glutes. Last one like this, sweep your arms back and up. Now just that halfway lift and lower. It's like a pulse, but it's controlled. Sinking forward and up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, left thigh is coming on now, and 1, hands to your shoulder blocks, and we come into our mountain climbers. Cross, cross, rotating through the hips. Again, I've stepped down to the floor. Just find it a little bit easier on my toes. You can stay up on the edge of your machine if you've got enough space there for your toes to stay up with enough grip. But just take some more care to place your foot exactly where you need it to be if you're choosing that option. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pike your hips up. Step down to the floor if you aren't there already. Let your hands drop down towards your feet and your head hang heavy. Take a breath in, bend your knees into your chest, and breathe out as you roll yourself all the way up. Ooh. All right, that's our warm-up. It's done, and we're ready to keep moving. We're gonna take those hand weights into each hand. We're standing behind the box. The box is just past the top edge of your carriage. That's where I've got it anyways. You might need to adjust it depending on height as we move through a few different exercises. We're going to step up with, I've got my box on the right side. I'm stepping up with my left leg, which is the closest to my carriage, just so you can feel out where you are in your space. You're going to drive up, your right leg comes to a hover and we press up overhead. And then we step back down with the right foot, step all the way back with the left one, arms beside you, nice big deep split squat. So left foot to the box, right foot hovers. I'm probably have my head cut off here at the top. Step down with the right foot, back with the left foot, split squat. Beautiful. So I find when I teach this, people do tend to get a little bit confused which foot they're stepping back with, which foot they're stepping up with. So we step down first with control, left glute work, step all the way back, find your split lunge before you step up. All right, so for now, the weight is nice and light, the movement is nice and light. Still a little bit of a warm up, a little bit more dynamic. What we do want to do is become really conscious of where we're placing our feet each time we move through this. We're working on balance and just getting that blood moving around the bottom. Talk about balance. All right, we're going to stay at the bottom of that split lunge in another 2 rounds. Start to warm up through our right glute now a little bit more. Last 4 rounds. So come up into that knee drive. Step down and back. Dip down into your split lunge and up. Dip down and up. Now I want you to push through that right heel. All right? So we're driving through the heel. Similar to what we did in our warm-up, only now your chest is tall, so your left thigh is on. Your right glute is working. We're going for 3. Working on stability still. 2. And 1. Step up onto your box. Hold that knee hover. Whew. And press up overhead into the shoulders. So pull the rib cage in, squeeze through your left glute a little bit more. So we're lifting up out of that hip. Breathe through this. It's nice and slow. It's full of control. Weight still not feeling too heavy, should be okay. In 10 seconds, we're gonna come into our lunges with our left foot on the shoulder block. So I want you to try and transition into this nice and smooth. The right foot will find the inside edge of your box in 3, 2, 1 more here. Bring the weights down, step towards the inside edge of your box. Your left foot finds the shoulder block and we sweep down into our long lunge and stand all the way up. Your arms are just gonna squeeze back past the hips and then you drive through that heel to stand. So we find a really nice deep lunge where the chest moves forward. This is loading up that right heel, giving the right glute a little bit more to work with. We'll take a few here before we start to add on. We are going to add on layers here. We're going to start to challenge those shoulders a little bit more, but I want your primary focus to be what's happening with the lower body. So any arms that I add on that don't feel good for you, or if you ever feel like they're taking away from your form in your lunge, I just want you to take that arm movement away. On your next lunge, let's swap the direction of the arms so they start to come overhead. And then you stand up tall. So we squeeze through the back of the body. You want to lengthen your shoulders away from your ears and keep them lengthened away. I'm about to say the same thing twice. Lengthened away from these. And keep them in one long line with your spine. So your chest comes forward and the arms press up. Beautiful. All right, let's add on our next layer. We found our lunge, hold it. 1 overhead press, then stand up. So long lunge, overhead press, stand tall. All right, so that overhead press, all it's really doing is forcing you to stay in your lunge for a little bit longer. So if an overhead press doesn't suit your body, I want you to hold at the bottom of your lunge for a full, long breath cycle. In and out. All right, let's add another layer. Long lunge, overhead press. You're gonna scoot the carriage in, open the arms, squeeze past your hips. Reach back up overhead and stand tall. Whew, here we go. Long lunge, overhead press. Knee bends as your arms sweep back. You sweep them all the way back up overhead and stand tall. That right glute and hamstring should be starting to fire all the way up. Whew. Let's do 3 more rounds. You need to think about your movements every time. What's coming next is always on your mind. Overhead press, sweep. Ooh, 1 more full round. We come down, overhead press, scooter. This time we stand up, last time we stand up. Come straight down, just your scooters. Now, your arms can continue to open and sweep overhead, or if that's too much, row the elbows in and out, or if you like, weights to your chest. But we have 10 seconds. Oh my. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my days. Come all the way up. Woo. Give your right leg a little shake out. That was gnarly. We're gonna slow down very soon, but not just yet. Crouch down onto your box. Oh my God, I've got no strength left in that leg. Pop your weights down onto the floor. Your hands are gonna frame your front right corner of your box, and your toes are gonna come up against the closest shoulder blocks. Now, if you prefer to plank on your knees, just move further onto the carriage so your knees are resting down. Catch your breath. Lucky you guys aren't talking all the way through this. I'm puffed. All right, knees come up, find a plank, and we're tucking the knees under and pressing back. Your knees are gonna angle in towards your foot bar. I want you to breathe out as the knees come in and breathe in as you send them out. What you should feel is the right side obliques firing on a little bit more as those knees come across. Keep your hips down. You're folding the knees underneath you rather than twisting in with the knees square under the hips. Let's go for another 10 seconds like this. We finish with a hold, and that's it. So nice and simple, no frills here. Pull and push. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Send it out, square your hips. Hold your plank for 6. Draw up through the belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in and drop your knees down. Take a breath. Amazing work. All right, if you need to, now's a really good time to grab a drink of water that I didn't set up for myself, so I won't have one. You're gonna turn yourself around, bring your weights to the back edge of your box, so they're just down there on the floor, ready for when we need them, okay? And then we're gonna set up in a 4-point kneel, knees to the back edge of your box, hands to the front, and you're coming down onto your left forearm. I am sweaty. It is a hot day, one of the first hot days of the year, so I feel like my body is ready for it. So hopefully I don't slip around. So left forearm across the top edge of your box. Right hand is on your shoulder block. And we're just gonna start by pressing the carriage out and in. Now, that spring is really light. So what your body wants to do is add more range by sinking in. I want you to focus on keeping yourself square over your box as you press your carriage out. Resist the springs in. Beautiful. We're gonna add on. Your right leg is gonna go long, toes are on the floor. So same arm as leg. As you press the carriage out, lift the leg and then tap it down. Now your hip is gonna open slightly towards your reformer. And I want you to lift up out of the left side of the body. So we're in this really nice, proud, elongated position, looking down towards the floor. So you've got length through the neck as well. Now, because we're in this forward hinge type position where our chest is lower than our hips, you can afford to bring your leg a little higher without dipping into the low back. But I don't want you to swing your leg up so your back starts to bend in. Beautiful. All right, we are gonna add on. Press the carriage out, hold it here. Your knee is gonna come wide into a fire hydrant, and you're gonna bring your elbow in towards it too. And then press it out, hold the carriage, tap the toes down and up. Knee to elbow, press it out, tap down, lift up. So your knee probably needs to come in a little bit wider than your elbow can, especially if you've set your reformer up like me, where I don't have a whole heap of range for those springs. You can probably hear I'm hitting the stopper most of the time I'm coming in. If your foot bar's a little higher, you've got a bit of a higher clearance to make, but the idea is you want your knee wide. This not only loads up your stabilizing glute more, but it also encourages you to squeeze through the side of those glutes. Whew. All right, 2 more. Last one, just your knee drive, all right? So knee to elbow, breathe in, breathe out, send it long. For 4, 3, 2, last one, hold it out, just your toe taps. So hold your carriage still. Lift up out of that shoulder. Keep your chest proud. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way home. Ooh, all right. Your carriage can come in and park. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. And we're coming onto our knees, facing towards the top end of the reformer. Now, because I went pretty light with my weights, I'm going to pick both of them up. I've got 1 kilo weights, I've got both. If you went for 2s or 3s, then you might just want to bring one of them with you, but see how you go. If you decided to go heavier, you can probably handle heavier than me. Then you're going to pick up your strap with your right hand. So left hand has the weights, right hand has the straps. Both of your arms are going to reach forward. We're going to tuck the tail, squeeze the bottom, and tuck your rib cage in, and we're coming into a hinge. So we hinge back, and then we squeeze the thighs to come up. So our eye gaze is going to stay straight forward. I'm just going to shorten my reformer so I don't keep hitting the stopper. It's annoying me a little bit. All right, so we hinge back, and then squeeze up. Now, I don't want you to be so far back on your box that you can actually hook your feet over the back, and your hamstrings are helping, and we don't get as much load through the thighs. What we want to avoid is dipping into the low back, and we also want to avoid hinging through the hips. So tuck, squeeze. Your hinge doesn't need to be a super deep hinge. You might only be able to go a few inches. Then we're going to start to add on a double arm row. Now, it feels a bit funny because one hand has resistance, the strap, and the other hand is holding a heavy lever, those weights. So you need to try and use your deep core to keep your shoulders and your hips square. As you work the 2 sides of the body, same movement, very different feeling. Woo, we're going to hold down and row. Hinge, row in and out. Row in and out. Chest open, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs. 4, 3, 2, 1, and come all the way up. Carriage can park. Amazing. We keep going. We're almost done on this round. Your weights are going to come all the way out of the way off to the side. You're sitting on your box, and you're going to slide your right thigh into your strap. So inside leg, long loop. Come lay down on your back. We've got a short round of abs here. Hands interlace behind the head. Your right leg is going to come up into a tabletop. Now, when you find tabletop with your right leg, your springs should open. Okay, if your springs are not open, then you either need to move further up or shorten your strap or whatever you need to do. Right leg to tabletop. All right, we're going to keep the left leg down for now. Make sure you're nice and stable through the pelvis so your bum is not off the back edge. And we come into some ab curls here. Oof. So breathe in, open through the chest. Breathe out, curl up. Your first few are just to make sure you are not arching through the low back. So I want you to really think about pulling down through the belly button and your hip bones pull in. Now, even that blue spring is pretty heavy on that leg. The best way to keep this out of your hip flexor and your thigh is to use your abdominals. Pull down through your belly, nice strong breath. We add on, I want you to curl up and hold up. Float your left leg to tabletop, float it back down, open through the head and chest. Toes are light on the floor. Your right leg does not move. Hold it as still as a statue. Lift the left leg, lower it down, lower the head and chest, breathe in. tighten through that belly like you're wearing a belt. All right, if this is strong enough for you, continue. Otherwise, on the next round, we're gonna change it up. Curl up and hold up. Left leg to tabletop. One ab curl here. Hold the ab curl as you tap the left toe down and up. I don't know how much longer I can talk through this, but we're only going to do 4 more. Woo. 3. You've got this, guys. 2. Last one. 1. Let's come down, take a very mini break. Stretch out through those abs, and then we come back up for our final round. Right leg to tabletop, curl up, left leg comes up. We're gonna rotate to the right and tap the left toes down, then bring it back through center. Only 6 of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and relax. Oh, you do not have to do many of them to get there. All right, guys, we are done on this side. You're gonna take your strap off your leg, move your box over to the other side, and we continue. All right, check that I'm still gonna be in the camera. Yes. All right, bring your weights with you. And we're going to start with those step ups. So when you're ready, right foot on the box, left foot comes up to a hover. I'm definitely not going to be in frame here, but that's all right. You guys can see what I'm doing with my lower body. That's all that matters. Step up, drive up, and down. Another reason why grippy socks would be a good idea. I'm stepping in my own sweat on my box, and then slipping when I step back. Do not make my mistakes. Pause this video and grab a towel. Oh man, and I'm right underneath the aircon as well. All right, find a little bit of freedom in your movement. You should get a nice little stretch there through the right hip when you come into that lunge as well, as you keep your chest up nice and tall. We're gonna hold back for those split lunges in 3. Have control. 2. Last one. Come back, nice split lunge. We go down and up. Now drive through your left heel. Your right thigh is going to be feeling a little tender, so you need to actively push through that left heel to start to switch that right glute back on. We've got 4, 3, 2, last one. We come all the way up, hover, overhead press. So find stillness in the body. Find that balance. Lift up out of that right hip, squeeze that right glute, press and pull. 4, 3, 2, 1 more here. Your foot comes towards the inside edge of your box, right foot to the shoulder block, and we find our long lunge, squeeze the arms back and stand up tall. Long lunge, squeeze those arms back, stand up nice and tall. Find that beautiful length through your body. Your chest comes forward over your left thigh before you stand tall. Hinge your chest forward, drive through the left heel. Squeeze the back of the arms. Lovely. All right, let's change the arms up on the next one. They're going to start to sweep forward and come up. Immediately, you should feel the load through your left glute and hamstring start to increase. So make sure your chest is not staying too proud. We want to actually hinge your chest forward. We keep those shoulders open and the load starts to come even deeper into your left heel. We're going to add on our first layer. Find our lunge, hold it. Shoulder press here, stand up tall. Lunge down, hold it, shoulder press, and we stand. Ooh. Hold that lunge. Press those weights and stand up. All right, belly pulls your spine. Keep your hips as square as possible. We don't want to dip through that right hip. It tends to fall down when we take these long lunges here on these machines. My beloved reformer. I'm lucky I got a mirror in front of me checking my form. All right, let's add on our scooter. Open the arms, pull the knee in, send those arms overhead, reach the leg, stand tall. Lunge, shoulder press. Scooter, open the arms, reach them up, stand tall. Make sure you find the depth of that lunge each time. Always thinking about what is coming next in your sequence. So we move through this slow. No need to rush. Don't thrash yourself around. Hold that lunge nice and stable. All right, one more full round. And then on our next one, just those scooters. Scooter in or open the arms and out. Remember, you can choose what you'd like to do with your arms here. Don't mind if you row. Don't mind if you hold them to your chest. The bottom is low. The carriage pulls in and out. 4, 6. Oh my gosh, who decided 6 more? 5, stay low. Can you stay with me? 4, because I'm tempted to stop, but I'm staying with you. 3, 2, last one. Woo! Bring it home. Oh my days. Come all the way down. Weights just drop to the floor for now. Quick breath. We're into our planks. So I want to transition nice and quickly here. Toes up against the closest shoulder block. Knees can go on the carriage if you want to do your kneeling plank. Otherwise, lift them up. Send the carriage out. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want you to pull your knees underneath you and over to that foot bar. Keep your chest square over the box. Pull under, send it back. Embrace that shake. Don't let your bottom stick out. Fold your knees underneath you. We've got 6, 5, 4. Keep looking up over that top edge. 3. Ooh, my thighs are burning. 2. We just hold our plank in 1. Send it out. Square your hips back out to your box and hold it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your knees down. Oh my days. Oh. All right. Take a breath. If you have time for a drink, grab a drink if you've got one accessible. I won't make that mistake again. All right, now we're coming back in to that shoulder press with our horse kick combination. I've got my weights over the top end of my box so they're ready for my hinges. Right forearm comes across the top edge, left hand onto the shoulder block. We press the carriage out and bring it in. All right. Remember, I was going to say this is a light press, but now that I am shaking all over my body, it don't feel as light as it did on the first round. So let's add that leg on. So left arm, left leg back behind you. Point through those toes, open your hip, lift the leg as you press the carriage out, tap it down as you bring it in. Because our chest is lower than our hips, you can afford to add some height. I'm happy for you to open your hip here. All right, we're not looking for that square alignment like we usually would in our horse kicks. We're lifting the leg, opening it. Oh my gosh, I've got no strength left. Are you guys okay? Is it just me? I am shaking. All right, let's do a few more like this. Then we're gonna add on in 2. Press out, hold it up. 1, knee to elbow, take it wide. Press the carriage out, hold the carriage as you tap your toe down and up. Knee to elbow, nice and wide. Press it out, tap down and up. That side kick or fire hydrant is loading your stabilizing glute. So the right glute starts to fire on even more. Plus we're squeezing into the side of the left glute. So you'll feel it in around your hip. Whoops, I'm losing my sequence. 2 more. Then we're just in that knee drive. Last one. Pull up out of the right side of the body and just your knee drive here now. I'm slipping everywhere. We'll not make this mistake again. Summer days calls for long tights and grippy socks to stop you from slipping and sliding. 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold it out, tap your toes down and up. Square your hips out, hold that carriage long. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, bring it all the way in. She's glad that's over. We're getting so close. Stay with me. Knees to the front edge of your box. Pick up your weight or weights. Come into a high kneel. Grab onto that strap. Let's just keep moving. I like the idea of moving under fatigue. Okay, just keeps that blood flowing. Our heart rate stays up. And plus the workout is over sooner. You're going to reach your arms forward, holding onto your strap. Tuck your tail, squeeze your glutes. Rib cage pulls in. We start to hinge back, and then we squeeze up. Your arms stay reaching here. Your tailbone stays tucked under. Don't bend through that low back. Don't dip through your hips. You'll know you're doing it right if you feel your thighs straight away. Add your row. Hinge, both elbows in and out, then come all the way up. Take your hinge, row, reach, squeeze to lift. Squeeze your glutes even more. Try and row at a similar pace. Both elbows pull and reach. Brace through your core to keep your body as still as possible. 3, 2. We're holding down on this next one. Hinge and row. In, out, tuck the tail, squeeze the thighs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up. All right. Last bit of work. Are you with me? You'll need some energy for this. If you're as shaky as I am, slide your left leg into the strap. Just take a quick moment to breathe if you need to. We want to settle that heart rate. We want to be good to go. So we have good form with this one, okay? Because the load on the thigh means that we're loading up the deep core. If we let our core go, it'll probably pull us into an arched spine. That's what you want to be looking out for, which is why we start with the right foot down and the left foot up. A more basic level. So we can first, I'm probably breathing so hard into that speaker. So we can first get that ab curl form right. So you're pulling down through the belly. Your tailbone is anchored. And maybe your rib cage opens as you lower the head and chest, but your low back stays stable. All right, we add on curl up, hold the left leg in place. Right leg to tabletop, lower it down, lower the head and chest. Float it up and down, lower the head and chest. Whew. This is definitely not one that can be spoken through. All right, if that's heavy enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, we're changing it up. Curl up, float the right leg to tabletop, 1 ab curl. Right toe taps down and up, and again. Left leg does not move. Keep that knee over the hip, pull down through the belly. Last 2. Last one. Mini break. Oh, feet come down. Little stretch out through the chest. All right, our very, very last round of work. We're gonna come into those obliques a little bit more. So back up to tabletop. Take your ab curl up. Right toe down, twist to the left, then back through center. Twist. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Oh, relax. Oh my gosh, those abs are so hard. The good news is the hard work is done. We're gonna take a little stretch because Lord knows you're gonna need it. And then you're free. Try not to skip the stretch on this one, guys, because those hips are probably feeling a little bit tender. You're gonna come and rest your right foot up against the shoulder block. I'm actually gonna add a half spring on so that I got a little bit more load for a nice supported deep lunge. And bring your foot bar all the way up if you popped yours down like mine. Let your hip open. You can maybe floss the carriage in and out. That feels nice. Slow your breathing. Ooh, my whole body is quivering. I hope that was as hard for you guys as it was for me. Always humbled. I taught this all morning to group classes, and now I'm like, whoops, sorry guys, that sucked. All right, bring the carriage in. We're gonna hold our lunge, but park the carriage. Left hand to the foot bar, right arm is gonna reach all the way up as you drive your hip forward, getting even deeper into that hip flexor. And then send the carriage back into your hamstring stretch. Flexing your left toes up towards your face here. You can always sit your bottom back to your heels if that is a little nicer on your body. And then the carriage comes all the way home. I'm going to stand up on my carriage on my way over to the other side. Come into a variation of elephant stretch, but a little bit more relaxing. You're going to press the carriage out. Your chest is low. I want you to drive your heels into the carriage as you send it back, so you get that stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. And then pull the heels underneath the hip. Breathe out, press the carriage out. Don't let the heels peel up, and breathe in as you press the carriage out, and breathe out. As you pull the carriage underneath you, kind of lift through the belly a little. Beautiful. Let's do two more. This is probably my favorite stretch. And bring it all the way underneath you. Bring your carriage all the way to a stop. Take a little bit of a deeper forward fold here. And then we step down to the right hand side. Left foot up against the shoulder block, sinking into a nice deep lunge. Woo. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Little floss of the carriage if that feels nice. Pressing it out and in. Bring your carriage all the way home. You're going to park your carriage. Right hand's going to stay on the foot bar as you reach your left arm up and over, driving your hips forward so you get that lovely stretch through your left hip flexor. It's one thing I probably don't do enough of these days is stretch. I feel like I'm skipping stretching too much, but my body can feel it today. I need to stretch a little bit more. It's one of those things, I'm sure you guys might be the same. I talk about it so much more than I do it. All right, and then hamstring stretch. Or maybe because you're disciplined enough to do a home workout, you're probably that person that can stretch. Hopefully you feel like I'm talking to you. Let me know in the comments. Do you stretch? It's an interesting topic starter. Whew, let me know in the comments what you thought of this workout. All right. Bring your carriage all the way home. You guys are done. If you want to stretch more, go ahead and do it. Thank you for joining me. That was a wild journey. I'll see you guys next time for a little bit of fun. I always save my favorite, my strongest workouts for my YouTube channel. So if you liked this workout, subscribe. I don't post as regularly as I'd like, but I at least try for once a fortnight. So I'll see you guys soon.